and drink your tea. I'll help you to get to sleep faster. Oh, it certainly will. Do not underestimate Mother Nature's sleep aids. There's gotta be something about that somewhere in this book. Jewels of the Devil. There are hundreds of scenic wonders in the Ozarks, and the commercialization of these natural phenomena brings thousands of tourists to the region each year. There are also many wonders that, as a result of their remoteness and inaccessibility, receive no publicity and remain relatively unknown. The Devil's Tea Kettle is one such Ozark wonder. The Devil's Tea Kettle is located at the center of a large meadow bordering Hickory Creek, about 8 miles northeast of Springdale, Arkansas, near Beaver Lake. At first glance, it appears to be only an uninteresting hole in the ground, but upon closer inspection, it is easily recognized as something unique. Beautiful round stones, each polished to a high gloss, surround the hole and are scattered along the bed of a dry wash that runs through the meadow to a nearby creek. The stones are so highly polished and colorful that they look like jewels glimmering in the sun. The legend from which the hole received its name tells that these beautiful stones are the jewels of the devil, blown out of the ground and scattered in the meadow to entice the passerby into the devil's grasp. The old story warns of a hex that will follow anyone the rest of his life if he picks up one of the devil's jewels. It is said that early settlers would not even walk in the meadow, as they were afraid of accidentally stepping on a stone. The Devil's Tea Kettle is a property owned by G.S. Lambert, a retired geologist who lives on nearby Beaver Lake. He is one of only a very few people who have seen the kettle erupt. It happens only on rare occasions following extremely heavy, rainy seasons. Lambert has spent some time studying the tea kettle, and he explains it in this way. When heavy rain fills the underground aquifers or streams to capacity, water is forced out of the hole. At such times, a stream of water 3 to 4 feet deep and 6 to 10 feet wide emerges, greatly resembling the geyser at Yellowstone Park. Directly above the hole, the water appears to be boiling as it erupts. It is from this boiling effect that the hole gets its name. A natural rock polishing is the result of the force and churning motion of water, sand, and stones as they erupt from the underground stream. Lambert also relates another unusual fact about the kettle. As it erupts, a unique variety of albino fish emerges from the hole. The fish are completely colorless, totally blind, and of no known species. Many have no eyes at all. Lambert explains that since such fish spend their lives in underground streams, they have no need for eyes and generally lack color. Although there is now a scientific explanation for the devil's jewels, it is interesting to note that the meadow has never been cultivated and that no building or improvement exists on the property. It is apparent that the legend of the jewels and their eggs lives on. Would you have guessed that the mystery of the tea kettle would be so easy to explain? Sure, these old superstitions seem silly to us modern folk, but always remember that, even though we cannot comprehend it now, people then would always explain such things with the best, most accurate knowledge they had. And sometimes this resulted in curses and hexes and tales of the devil. I wonder, in the future, how many of the things we lack knowledge on today we will uncover new sources to and meanings of. As it stands, I cannot give you answers I don't have, so let's stick with what we already know. And the legends. Early Ozark settlers lived closer to nature than we do today. The pioneers depended directly on nature for survival, and the reverence with which they regarded their environment resulted in the creation of many legends and folk tales about native trees and plants. According to one such legend, the dogwood tree has religious significance. This small tree, it is said, was once the largest and strongest in the forest, and the cross on which Christ was crucified was made from its wood. After his death and resurrection, the tree began to grow small, and to commemorate Christ's everlasting life, began to bring forth beautiful blossoms each year at Easter time. These dogwood blossoms are shaped like crosses, and each petal has a small brown stain, symbolic of the wounds in Christ's hands and feet nailed to the cross. The white blossoms symbolize purity, and the tree itself, the unending life of Christ. The red bud, which competes for glory with the dogwood and the spring woods, also has religious significance. Known as the Judas tree, it too was once a much larger and stronger tree. According to legend, it was from a mighty red bud that Judas hanged himself after betraying Christ. The red bud was changed into a small tree, and like the dogwood, it brings forth beauty every spring in memory of Christ and the death that comes from betraying Him in our lives. Another good example of plant folktales involves the bois d'arc, bowwood, Osage orange, or hedge apple, one of the Ozarks' most plentiful and unusual trees. Early Indians found the light weight, high ability, strength, and beauty of the tree's yellow wood perfect for making bows, arrows, and other weapons. One version of the origin of the name Ozark is directly connected to the bowwood. Early explorers referred to the region as Land of the Bois d'Arc, which evolved over the years into the term Ozark. Legend further tells us that the Bois d'Arc once produced the world's finest, most delicious and nutritious fruit in great abundance, that in fact it was the tree in the Garden of Eden from which Adam ate of the forbidden fruit. When Adam committed mankind's first sin, God turned its fruit into an ugly, poisonous, and useless apple, and thorns began to grow from the once beautiful tree. The Bois d'Arc is therefore often referred to as the Devil's Tree, and the yellow balls that cover it in the fall are known as the Devil's Apples. It was thus only fitting tree's wood was so suitable for making weapons, the instruments of death. The beautiful weeping willow tree can be found throughout the Ozarks, along the banks of rivers, springs, and streams. It is said that the willow was once a strong tree with its limbs reaching skyward, but that now the limbs droop in memory of the fact that Roman soldiers used willow limbs to scourge Christ. The willow is also said to have a spell of bad luck cast upon it. Many early settlers felt that only bad luck could come to a family who settled land with a weeping willow on it. Although perhaps the hex of the willow could be overcome by an abundance of Ohio buckeye trees. A buckeye seed carried in one's pocket was believed to bring good fortune. It is somewhat ironic that the derivative which produces aspirin was first found in the bark of a willow tree. The tree may cast an evil spell, but at least it helps to relieve our headaches. These legends are only part of the rich heritage of our natural world. One needs only to look, listen, and feel when walking through an Ozark forest to realize that each of its trees and plants has its own story to tell. The Legend of Mistletoe. Searching the woodlands for fresh, berry-laden twigs of the parasite mistletoe plant is an old Christmas tradition in the Ozarks. The more berries the plant had, the more love power it was thought to possess. Mistletoe was hung above each doorway during the Christmas season, and anyone passing beneath the plant received a kiss from whoever was watching. A berry had to be picked from the twig during the kiss to seal the love. When all the berries were gone, the plant had no more power. The sole tradition and the legend of how the plant received its power were brought to the Ozarks from Europe. Balder, the Scandinavian counterpart of the mythical god Apollo, was immune to injury or harm from anything that derived from the four elements: fire, water, air, and earth. Loki, an evil spirit determined to kill Balder, created an arrow from mistletoe wood. Since mistletoe grew from a tree and not directly from any of the four elements, the arrow killed his mother Frigga, the goddess of love, wept over her son's body. Frigga's tears spilling onto the protruding mistletoe dart turned into white berries, and gradually Baldur's life was restored. Frigga was so thankful for her son's return to life that she decided that henceforth the mistletoe was to be the symbol of love and to bestow love and peace to all those who passed beneath. As a result of this pagan legend, mistletoe was not accepted as decoration in churches for centuries. Gradually, however, its symbolism of brotherly love won out, and today it is universally accepted as a part of Christmas. Apart from its love power, the mystic mistletoe was also used in many folk remedies. Blood clots were said to be dissolved with a potion made from milk and mashed mistletoe leaves. A brew made by boiling the plant leaves was used to promote fertility and to treat epilepsy. A twig of mistletoe worn around the neck was believed to ward off disease, to provide the wearer with the power to predict the future, and to protect him from being deceived. A salve made from mixing mistletoe with wax was used to treat ulcers and sores. Young maidens could learn what their future love life was to be like by drinking a mixture made of mistletoe berries, honey, and vinegar at bedtime. Dreaming of storms meant marrying a sailor. Dreaming of a coffin meant love dying out of one's life. Dreaming of flowers meant all would go well and the love to come. The juice extracted from fresh wood of the mistletoe was thought to soothe earaches. Limbs from the hazelnut tree, especially those cut from branches that bore an abundance of mistletoe, were considered the best divining rods. It was believed that they excelled in locating lost treasure and water sources. Knives with handles made from mistletoe wood were thought to possess magical properties and were considered the best for wood carving, and keys bathed in the juice from mistletoe wood or berries were used to open the most stubborn locks and doors. I'm not sure how this would have worked for the keys, but maybe there's more to the mistletoe than I'm willing to give it credit for. This is the last story I'm going to read for you. So lay down and get comfy. Miracle waters. Few people are aware of the fact that Many Ozark cities and much of our tourism industry were actually born as a result of legends. Cities such as Eureka Springs, Sulphur Springs, Siloam Springs, and Hot Springs in Arkansas, and El Dorado Springs and Ponce de Leon in Missouri all grew up around springs that bubbled miracle waters from the earth. Some legends of the water's healing powers began among the Indians and were later exploited by fast buck promoters, hoping to profit from the troubles of the chronically ill. Owners of the many springs advertised their particular waters as being able to cure almost any type of injury or disease. Liver and kidney disorders, neuralgia, stomach ulcers, dyspepsia, chills, rheumatism, arthritis, influenza, paralysis, and a long list of other ailments were said to be curable by certain spring waters. One of the most dramatic of the healing water promotions was the advertisement of certain springs in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, as being capable of curing blindness. This idea originated from a legend about Whitehair, a Sioux chieftain from the north who brought his blind daughter to the Osage Indians' magic spring. After her eyes were bathed in the water, the young princess regained her sight. The first to promote the Basin Springs magic waters of Eureka Springs was Dr. Alva Jackson, who is credited with founding the city in 1856. Dr. Jackson promulgated the story that his son's congenital eye disorders had been cured when he bathed in the waters. One of the early Ozark health spas that failed was Sulphur City, Arkansas. The remoteness of its Boston Mountain location and the distance from the railroad caused its decline. Now nearly a ghost town, the city once had several thousand miracle seekers camped around its spring or in its hotels during the summer months. The unique sulfur spring was promoted as a cure for a variety of illnesses, but especially for influenza. This disease took many lives in those days, and promoters boasted that one could drink the waters and bathe in them for a few weeks each summer, and thus prevent catching the dreaded disease during the winter months. The water was even bottled for a while and distributed throughout the nation as a cure-all. The city of Siloam Springs, Arkansas, grew up around its miracle water. was derived from the miracle waters of Siloam described in the Bible. Sulphur Springs, Arkansas, still boasts the world's largest lithium spring. This spring and the magnesium, white sulfur, and black sulfur springs nearby were each thought to cure certain disorders. As a result of the waters, the city grew to be one of the nation's leading resorts in the period between 1890 and 1910. And thousands of sufferers found their way to Sulphur Springs seeking cures. As medical science developed the thousands of miracle drugs so common in our lives today, many of the diseases that were once fatal lost their power to evoke fear. Moreover, the belief in the magic water legends began to disappear as medical knowledge improved and consumer protection provided by the Federal Food and Drug Administration did away with the promotions of miracle cures. Nevertheless, it is reasonable to assume that certain medical disorders may have been improved to some degree by minerals found in various spring waters. The situation is perhaps best summarized by an early skeptic who reported on his trip to Eureka Springs at the height of its popularity. The people there are more carried away with enthusiasm than fact. There no doubt have been some cures, but most could be best attributed to the pure air and rough fare. Who knew that clean air and good food could be so good for one's health? You know what else is good for one's health? Plenty of sleep. Close your eyes now. Tomorrow is a new day.